Long before life, the planet existed in silence. There were no trees, no animals, no movement on land. Water covered most of the surface. Vast oceans stretched in every direction. The water was warm in some places, cold in others. Always moving, always patient. The sky was thick with clouds. Light reached the surface slowly, filtered, softened. There were no seasons as we know them, no days to count. Only time, moving forward without measure. Inside the oceans, the building blocks of life were gathering. Simple elements drifting, meeting, separating. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. The planet was not alive yet, but it was preparing. Deep beneath the surface, invisible to any eye, something begins to organize. Molecules connect, slowly, carefully. Patterns repeat. Chains grow longer. Stability forms, order emerges. This is not life yet. This is information. A way to store memory. A way to repeat success. DNA is formed. Not suddenly, strengthened by repetition. DNA carries instructions, written without intention, but full of possibility. The ocean holds this quietly. Protecting it, surrounding it. The foundation of life is now present, waiting. Shelter. It becomes enclosed, protected within a boundary. The first cells appear. Small, simple, complete. These cells float freely, carried by currents, guided by light and warmth. They absorb energy. They release waste. They divide. One becomes two. Two become many. Life repeats itself, learning what works, remembering through DNA. There is no thought, no awareness, only survival, balance, continuity. Slowly, the ocean becomes alive. Over vast stretches of time, cells begin to stay together. Cooperation replaces isolation. DNA guides differentiation. Some cells specialize in movement, others in structure, others in energy. Simple bodies take shape. Soft, flexible. Life becomes more complex, but remains gentle. The ocean fills with slow motion, drifting, pulsing. Each change takes millions of years. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is hurried. Over time, the silence inside life begins to change. Movement is no longer only response. It becomes intention. Something within the living body starts to listen. Not with ears, but but with sensation. The world leaves traces. Light, shadow, warmth, cold. These traces remain. Hunger appears, not just as need, but as direction. A quiet pull toward continuation, toward energy, toward tomorrow. Fear is born gently. Not panic, but memory. A remembering of what harms. A soft warning written into movement. Alongside fear, curiosity awakens. A delicate courage, asking what lies beyond the familiar. Life leans forward, testing the unknown. There is no language, no thought, no name for self. And yet, something begins to protect itself. Self-preservation takes shape, not as fear of death, but as love for continuation. Decisions happen in silence. Turn toward warmth. Move away from danger. Wait, advance. These are choices made without awareness, yet filled with meaning. Courage emerges quietly in the act of exploring. Despite uncertainty, this is not consciousness, but the soil from which it grows. Awareness is forming, slow, ancient. Life is no longer only alive. It is beginning to experience. From awareness comes orientation. Life no longer drifts alone. It begins to sense direction. The edge of the water becomes noticeable. A boundary appears, not drawn, but felt. Shallow spaces invite curiosity. Light behaves differently here. Pressure softens. The body responds cautiously, attentively. Movement slows. Each motion is measured. The familiar support of water begins to change. There is resistance, weight, gravity. For the first time, life feels itself. The surface breaks. Air touches skin. This is a new element. Invisible, light, uncontained. Breathing becomes effort. Muscles engage in unfamiliar ways. The body does not understand yet, but it adapts. Sensations multiply. Sound changes. Silence becomes sharper. Light is no longer filtered. Shadows appear. This is not simply a new place. It is a new dimension of existence. The rules have changed. Balance must be learned. Protection must be earned. Danger feels closer, but so does possibility. Hunger leads to exploration. Fear teaches caution. Courage becomes necessary. The land does not hold life gently. But it offers space. Space to grow. Space to see farther. Space to become more. Every movement carries risk. and reward. Energy feels different here. Effort creates strength. Struggle shapes form. New senses begin to dominate. The horizon appears. For the first time, life can look ahead. Not just around. Memory deepens. Experience accumulates. Awareness expands. Outward. Upward. This is not an escape from the ocean, but an expansion of it. The water remains within, in every cell, in every rhythm. Life has crossed a threshold. Not because it was forced, but because it was ready. A new reality unfolds. And with it, a future filled with challenge, meaning, and becoming. The journey continues, but nothing will ever be the same. What stands here now was once invisible. A quiet pattern, drifting in water. A fragile thread of information, without shape, without intention. Time passed. Not in moments, but in ages. Oceans moved. Continents shifted. Light rose and fell. And within the water, memory remained. DNA repeated itself. Learned, adjusted. From one cell to many. From drifting to moving with purpose. Life experimented patiently. It failed countless times and continued anyway. Awareness emerged, quietly, without announcement. Hunger guided motion. Fear offered protection. Curiosity opened paths. Each sensation, a lesson. Each survival, a memory carried forward. And then, the boundary. Water, meeting land. A threshold crossed, not in a leap, but in readiness. Weight was felt, air was tasted. Light revealed new distances. The world expanded. What once floated now stood. This moment carries the echo of millions of years. Every step is built upon countless beginnings. The ocean still lives within, in every rhythm, every breath. This is not the end of the journey. It is a pause, a moment of arrival, before the next becoming. From a single thread of DNA to a being that walks the land. This is what time creates. When it is allowed to move. And the journey